There was a time where hip-hop culture and geek culture were at odds, clashing over dominance amongst society on who deserves the right to be considered best. The great culture feud lasted for decades with no end in sight, until one crew decided enough was enough. Deuces, Lib, Bacardi, and Didge, collectively known as Geekset, stepped up when the world needed it and became the only place that blends hip-hop culture and geek together.
All right, man. Welcome back to the Geekset podcast, the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces in the building, and with me I got my man Lib.
What up? It's Liberace. I got the Versace. Somebody shot me. I think it was Ron with the fucking paparazzi. Motherfuckers been looking at me.
He's still going.
I'm still going. I'm trying to do a rhyme. I didn't want to do Eminem bars. I'm sorry.
You about to give me Eminem bars.
I was about to.
You about to give me Eminem bars. I saw that.
You roll over my mic again, man. And as always, I got my man Bacardi in the building.
What's good, everybody? How we doing today?
Doing great, man.
Doing good.
We got Didge. I was about to say Lib again. We got Didge with us.
What is happening, people?
We damn near forgot about Didge. He's like one of the most important pieces.
Didge be mad. Like, we already did him dirty before the show, so he's like, y'all ain't even gonna shop me. Y'all right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
And we are recording from Geekset HQ headquarters.
Geekset headquarters.
First official episode.
First official,
motherfuckers.
First official episode from here. I got some.
and it's hot.
I got some weird ass whiskey bourbon that had an eagle on it.
Hold on, bro.
That's that.
For all of our listeners, just for the record,
Damn, that's not
Deuces done brought us some American Liberation goddamn whiskey.
That's not what it says.
It says American
It's
Outlaw
Jesse James.
whiskey. Jesse
James was American Outlaw.
Jesse James.
Fam, the phrase say, have your first sip of freedom.
From
freedom.
jail. Jesse James was in prison.
He fought for no freedom.
Yes, he did.
He didn't go to jail for us.
But that ain't what it's about.
To be fair, he ain't go to jail for white. He went to jail for himself.
He went to jail for. I'm not saying this for us.
But he was white, so it's the same thing.
He went to jail,
You know,
and when he got out, this was the first thing that he drunk.
That's
the first thing.
he had a little taste of freedom.
Charles said a bird came and dropped his glass, dropped him a shot. American Eagle came and dropped him a shot like, hey, boy, this for your freedom.
Hey, just for the record, I ain't fucking with it.
Hey, it's all right, man.
I'm going to take a sip of
I'm
it.
gonna have some a little
Y'all
bit
want
right
a
now.
little bit of freedom?
That's a big-ass bottle, bro.
Right now,
y'all want a little bit of freedom?
Right now, so I'll have some a little bit
I mean,
later.
we want to be
Beer
free,
drinking
so
nigga.
Jesse James is the way. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
if that's the road I gotta go.
Look here, we
I'm sick of y'all
We
right
an
now.
independent podcast, so
I'm
we
tired.
free. This is our first free drink,
That's what
our
I'm saying.
first sip of freedom,
Right.
As the freedom podcast that we are.
You trying to say we got released from shackles?
Yeah, I was gonna say we thought that.
No, this like walking papers and shit. I'm mad at you right now.
Like,
I'm mad at you.
what's the word here right now? What are we saying?
I don't know. Hey, but you know what? This is our studio.
I know,
we
I'm
got
loving
our
it.
own shit. We
Man.
got the Geekset headquarters.
Yep,
we
yep.
have been putting in a lot of work to make this motherfucker look right. What y'all see right now in the YouTube video is a 75% done recording studio
Yep.
at the moment.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work. There's
Yeah.
still a whole nother room on the other side.
Yeah.
You know? So it feels great. It feels great. It feels like when I moved out of my mom's house at 17, I had nothing, but I had everything.
Yeah.
Right, I know
mean,
exactly
well,
what you
this is-
mean.
And you had your first sip of freedom?
This is
First sip of freedom.
this is
glad you
big
keep
for
bringing
me
that back.
because out of everything
That's
that I
gonna be
did,
the whole show.
yeah,
It should be called the first sip of
First
freedom.
sip of freedom.
Our episode is called the first sip of freedom.
You gotta find a Dipset cover that got.
don't
They
worry
doing the red,
about
white,
it.
and
Don't
blue.
worry about it. I got it.
He already got it.
He already know his shit.
I already know what we're using.
He gonna use one with Cam going, I'm free. Some bullshit.
But this is a monumental moment for me. That's what I was trying to get out because
Fuck it, it's a monument.
monument.
It's a
Because
monument.
for me, like I said, out of all my life, I've never had my own office. And this is my first
This is your
time.
first official.
This is my first
Name on the-
official.
name on the lease.
Name
Name
on
on
the
the
lease.
lease.
Office, my shit. I can build shit. I can, you know what I'm saying? I
Do
can put
anything,
stuff. You
bro.
know what I'm saying?
Anything.
So, you know, I'm
Dinge already
super-
started his OnlyFans preview in this
Right.
motherfucker.
Ron
Ron
no,
might not
it's
be
only
too far
Dinge.
behind him.
It's only
Only
Dinge,
Dinge,
not
only
OnlyFans.
Dinge.
Only
remember?
Dinge?
Only
Only
Dinge.
Dinge.
Y'all, we gotta do that website. We gotta do that website.
You thought Bella Thorne was getting over on niggas. You thought Bella Thorne ran the bag up.
No, that's all it is. It's only did.
Only Dinge about to. But what,
Not
man?
yet.
What's been going on? So we missed an episode,
Yeah.
so
We
that
did.
way we can
We're
build.
But let's explain the reason we missed this episode is because we were moving in.
Yeah, we moved in.
Partially it was because of me, because I looked at these motherfuckers. It's like, we gonna record in this studio, and I'm looking like, man, there ain't nothing in this goddamn studio.
Yeah.
Shit sounds shitty. We ain't recording.
Y'all would have got mad echoes from us.
Y'all would have got
Yeah.
mad.
You
It
would've
would've been
heard-
like,
but it's not just
It
you.
wouldn't have been
It's
good.
not just you because remember I was the one that suggested. I said we have two options: either we record and have like a shitty ass
Yeah.
podcast,
Half-ass.
or half-ass, not shitty ass, half-ass podcast, or we wait another 2 weeks and
Yeah,
record. So
definitely.
it was a collective idea. It wasn't just like, oh, Liv was holding us up. Like, I don't
Liv
want
was
people to
trying
think
to hold
that.
us up, though. Liv wouldn't have recorded, though. I don't think if we would.
I wouldn't have did video.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have did video.
We didn't fuck around, just did a Zoom shit.
What the-
Zoom,
Then
right?
we wouldn't wait. If Liv wouldn't record and we wouldn't did video, we just would have been talking in the room.
would've had-
Niggas just would have been here just talking. For
We
no
would
reason.
put laptops up like we
Yeah.
so Zoom in the
on the
room.
real, like zoom in the room.
We had
Oh,
to damn
shit.
near everybody go home. We gonna zoom it.
You know, zoom it all up. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, but
So,
I mean,
we
we-
the 2 weeks has been. I mean, being in here, like I said, like taking off the podcast and just being in here, crafting everything and figuring
Yep.
out how we want to do, figuring out how we want to get everything done.
Yep.
That's been like the best part of it because it's like we actually are making this ours. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's like film, like for everybody's expertise. Boy, what you want from me?
I want you to hold that goddamn mic to your mouth and not
Dog.
talk over it.
What you mean, like this?
Just like that. Like, you see how I hold it? You see how Diz got it? You see how you ain't never rapped in your life.
Fam, I was a hype man.
That's why. That's why.
Hype man ain't got to do nothing, but yeah, I had a mic in my pocket, nigga.
Well, wait, I do want
All
to.
they did was dance.
I do want to take a moment though to also shout out the Patreon.
Shout out to
To
Patreon.
Patreon, to patrons, man, we appreciate y'all. A lot of that money is going into some things. I want to let you guys know the money that the Patreon gave us this month. That's what got us our 2 new surge protectors. So like it's already going
It's
into
not even.
It's already
It purchased us the ability to
Well,
build the
not
stuff
yet.
that
Well,
we have in
I
this
thought
room.
you was
As
going
you
to
go,
say
as
it got
you
us
go.
that Jesse
Like,
James.
No, it got us the surge protectors.
Nah, bro, this was funded by
that was
a day
that was
job.
funded by me. But I legitimately used my PayPal card, which has where the Patreon funds go to, and used it for those. I was like, oh, this could be a Geekset expense. So that was bought by the Patreons.
Oh, yeah.
So shout
thank
out
you.
to y'all.
Shout out to everybody
Thank
who's
you.
been donating.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to all the
Donating.
donations.
Everybody
Yeah.
who's been donating to us, like all the geeks.
yeah,
Everybody who's been giving us geek stuff.
And shout out to the new YouTube viewers. So we've been building our YouTube community, and like I'm seeing some familiar names on each video in each episode. So I want to say, make sure I'm shouting out those YouTube viewers, the YouTube viewership, and then also shout out the OG listeners, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever podcast platform you listen to. Shout out to y'all. I just want to make sure
Yes,
that we are
thank you.
continuously shouting out
I mean,
these
we want
supporters,
to
man.
thank everybody. I mean, definitely
Yeah,
shout out.
that's 100%
shout out
true.
to Doug NWO podcast for donating the couch. Doug
Oh
and
yeah,
Brittany.
shout out to Tone.
Shout out to
Shout
Tone.
Tone Deaf Radio.
Tone
and all
Deaf
of them.
Radio for the desk. Yes,
they
thank
gave
you.
us desks. They gave us the disc. They gave us a lot of pop figures.
Shout out
So-
to Tiff and her moms.
Yes,
You know
shout
what
out
I'm
to the
saying?
fam.
Because they got us. They
the
got us
refrigerator,
the
yeah, we got a
fridge
fridge
and
and
a
a
microwave,
microwave,
and some pops. She got this right here. So shout her out right
so
there.
Shout out, yeah. So that's what the more you
Who?
guys.
Oh, Kanita.
Kanita.
Shout out Kanita.
Kanita for giving us chairs.
Chairs.
She gave us some chairs.
I
and
mean,
gave us some,
the set's going to evolve. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna see the same set next time.
Yeah.
Gotta shout out our parents.
Yeah, I was gonna say, shout out me and Didge parents.
They coming in huge,
Yeah.
basically helping with that set. So
Yeah, so the next show is gonna be another look when we do our
Yeah,
next
it's
podcast.
so-
So you guys are really getting probably like our first rough draft, really.
Yeah.
And then our next podcast is gonna probably be a whole lot. Like it's gonna look different from this.
Right.
Like, and then from there, like I said, a lot of the donations we got from a lot of people, you guys are gonna start seeing it a lot in our videos.
Yep.
We're gonna start actually having it up more. So, like I said, the donations, we really appreciate them.
Yep.
You're gonna see them. We're gonna make sure that everybody sees them. They're gonna be actually posted up all throughout the
Yep.
office and things like that, and throughout the shows and stuff like that. So, Thank you.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna see upgrades. Right now, we just got a quick put together set. I'm hoping that by the next week, it'll be a little bit better. Shout out to myself for spending 12 hours.
Hey, no, shout out Liv. 100%. The aesthetics that you see, the aesthetics
This nigga got his
right now. Wait, hold on.
He put out the paper out his pocket like, hold on, I got some things here. I got some thank you.
You see how I'm trying to slide that dude?
Nah, but no, definitely, because the aesthetics that you see with these panels and everything and how it looks right now, a lot of this is being Liv. So shout out Liv 100%.
All of it.
Shout out to Liv and his carpentry skills.
I'm just talking mad shit. Man.
Like,
I had a lot of fun building the stuff that you see. If you're looking at our YouTube,
all
of our acoustic treatment, I still got a long ways to go. I put in a long 14 hours last week to get that shit done.
Me and Bacardi was there playing the game.
Playing the game because I really want our shit to sound really good.
And what you guys got to understand is that Liv was in here building and everything with no AC.
With no AC.
It's hot as a bitch.
Yeah. Like the place we rent, like they don't got central air. It's an old factory. If you're familiar with Milwaukee, you would know that a lot of these buildings were built on brick. And they have no central air, no heat. So I was in here slaving while Ron and Diz were playing motherfucking video games.
I mean, we was hot though too.
And the fucked up thing about it, is that every time I was like, man, I'm tired, I'm about to leave. Ron was like, you better get your ass in there and finish this shit because I am not leaving until I see this shit done on the wall.
Huge slander
like a kid in the kitchen. This is done.
Liv tried to sneak out.
Trying to go to bed. I'm tired.
Liv tried to sneak out. Ron looking like, I know I see you moving.
We ain't leave till like
I ain't no water cut on or nothing in there.
I ain't get home till about 4 a.m. in the morning.
Oh yeah, that was a late night.
But you know what? It was for the purpose of us putting this together. I know I'm talking shit. I don't need accolades for it. I don't want it. I love it. I did it because
you got your roses,
I want us to do our
Hey, if you don't want his roses, I'll take them.
I want us to be successful. I want our shit to sound great. So,
Hey, y'all
by the way,
late.
Geekset Studios is gonna be up and running. So if y'all need recording time and you in Milwaukee, we here too. Look at that. I'm just talking shit.
Hey, but you know what's funny? It's like y'all niggas was up so late. Like I remember, like I was just chilling, and then I was like, I wonder what these niggas doing. So I hopped on like the Twitch, and y'all niggas was talking about something. I was like, let me just go ahead and send.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot what
we was confused. Like, what is Deuces talking about right now? Oh, I'm looking at y'all Twitch.
Like, I didn't even realize we were Twitching so fucking late in the night.
Twitch was just always, we was just talking. I forgot it was just recording. So I'm like, Twitch just heard everything.
I'm like, what these niggas talking about?
Nah, man, it's
like he was
good,
in the
man.
room just answering questions. Be like, what?
But I do that all the time. You don't ever look at the comments. Because I be talking mad shit to Bacardi.
One time I was watching your Twitch. Me and him was just going back and forth.
I be talking mad shit about Bacardi.
I forgot what you was playing, but we was just going back and forth. Just talking shit.
I need a moderator to tell me what the fuck niggas doing. Because I don't read that shit.
Like Bacardi was playing, I think he was playing Overwatch, and I was like, the first night he twitched from here, and I was like, nigga, you better. I was like, this is the first night. You better get some motherfucking dope ass wins.
No.
And then he died. I was like, nigga, you trash.
I just want to shout out like all of our people that have been listening since like the first year. This is our third year. And a lot of podcasts stay stagnant and they feel content with what they're doing and the location that we're doing. And I'm extremely proud that, we decided and always are looking to take it to the next level. Yeah. So for us acquiring our own location, knowing that we have families, knowing that we have things that we need to take care of, knowing that that maybe some we don't make money off of this, y'all. We don't. We do it purely because of love.
Hold on.
I gotta keep it honest.
No, we are. We get paid $4.50 a month right now.
$4.50 a month.
If we split up that Patreon.
If we split it up. But
I like my $4.50
I ain't saying nothing, nigga. Where my contract at?
Right?
I ain't saying nothing.
I want that. I want that 4 for 4 off there. I want that 4 for 4. But it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel proud. I know y'all feel the same way. We came a long way. We started at a small round table in our guy's basement. We moved on to
Shout out to Poindexter.
we moved to a studio, you know. We decided that we want to do our own thing. We want to have our own thing, and it's just about growth. You know, we've been investing a lot of our time, a lot of our own resources. We each bring our own type of skill to the table.
Yeah.
And with the backup that we have from the people that listen to us, the Patreons, the people that listen to us,
people buying the merch,
the people who been
buying the merch,
who've been paying attention to folks like at Crunchyroll, Earwolf. You know, because of them,
Apple Music,
Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
You know, it has really put us in a position where we feel that, you know, if we need to keep pushing forward. So y'all always gonna see growth from us. You know, And I just want to thank folks that have been listening to us from the first day when we wasn't shit and we ain't know what we was doing.
That first episode was the wildest episode.
We still got to do that video. We still got to do that video of us reacting to that first video.
Yeah, that first episode.
Bro, my intro was like, hey, man, welcome to the Geekset podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, shit was weak, though.
It was so slapped, though.
We was.
That's when I came up missing.
No, I was missing. I had people that I didn't even know calling me. That I didn't even know. I'm like, how did this person get my number? Calling me, asking, hey, where Ron
all I did was went home and passed out. They was like, I was gone. Dog.
Hey, I was worried. You know what I'm saying?
I remember listening to that episode.
I'm like, motherfuckers looking for Ron. Like, I ain't heard from your brother in years, and he calling me. Like, hey, where is Ron? He was last seen with y'all. I'm like, dog, do we have a murder mystery?
That was a wild first episode.
Geekset was gonna turn into the
on the first day.
By the blessed nigga to disappear. Like, Ron just give us the best episode to disappear. Like,
Geekset was gonna turn into a murder mystery podcast after episode 1.
On the real. Hey, but you know what?
It would have been like the first for Ron.
We would have still been going to this day.
Niggas been doing podcasts. Been doing podcasts. Like, teachers, everybody like, so anybody heard from Ron yet?
That's what. Like, that would have been the staple of the podcast. Like, where is Ron?
After the end, it's like, so after the show's over, like, so if anybody had heard from Ron or talked to Ron,
call 1-888.
Make sure you call.
Find Ron.
Right.
But you know what? It's like, you know, like that first day, like ever since, like, okay. So if y'all ain't know, like the idea came from Deuces. He put up a Facebook post. I'm an opportunist and I'm a geek. And I was like, yo, I'm on it. And I tagged Ron like, I know this motherfucker be on it too.
No, Kanita tagged.
Kanita tagged you?
I was in the post first.
Yeah.
Kanita tagged me.
So when I put, so here's
what?
I'll let you.
I thought it was me.
No, so this
well,
how
I just started
taking credit for shit.
Wait, no, this how the post went. So when I posted the post, Maine actually from 2035 posted somebody he knows, and that was a geek, and he was like, this dude would be dope. And then Kanita tagged Bacardi.
Oh, I co-signed Kanita.
Yep, and then you hopped on.
Did you?
Now, here's the thing. Like, I trust Maine, but I was like, you know what? I already know Lib and I already know Bacardi, and I don't want to go through the growing pains of trying to learn somebody new on the podcast. So I was like, I'm going to just grab them because it'd be easier.
Yeah, because I didn't even know what the podcast was.
And
like,
then,
you know, I
like,
low-key, I had
just
no
tagged me.
idea.
I said, what we doing? Like
we just gonna talk?
Like, what we just talking about some comics and
we
shit?
just gonna talk? Like, hold your shit up, Ron.
I'm holding, bro. It's right on my thing. My lip is touching my finger.
Listen, man.
Y'all had that rolling for a while.
Directly, and you see how I'm holding it? I know it look foolish, but you gotta talk directly to it.
So I got a question. So
the mic on the stand don't even be this close to me.
But that's why you don't be sounding good.
Y'all do a lot of talking about the origins of Geekset, but y'all don't talk about when the final touches got put on.
Wait, hold on. That's what I was gonna get into because we talked about the origins a lot.
Right.
Here's what I actually want to get from y'all. What was the turning point where you guys was like, all right, let's take this shit serious?
I still ain't take it serious. I just come here. Y'all give me free alcohol. Sometimes Ron got some weed. Like what the fuck?
What we doing? I've been trying to get my rap career on. I'm trying to get my little 15 minutes here.
But the reason why I want to hear from y'all, because see, from the start, this was like I already had this vision, so I was taking it serious from the get-go. But I want to know what was the turning point for y'all?
For me, it wasn't until I started the clothing line.
Okay.
Because I started Geekset merch. Because at that point I was investing money into Geekset and trying to build the brand of what it's supposed to be.
Yep. Okay.
So I mean, I think I do enjoy the beginnings where we were traveling and doing the conventions, but I also looked at that as, boy, if you don't quit looking at me about this mic.
I'm looking at you talk, bro.
Like the conventions.
You doing good?
Like I enjoyed that. And even even getting the Red Rangers, like one of our first early guests, like that was like a sign to see that we was like already on to something, but I still didn't really see that. Because I mean, to have someone like a celebrity like that just be like, I fuck with y'all. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That means that we had a spark already that someone just saw it. Like, yeah, I fuck with y'all, whatever. Like, he kind of gave us our first, like, green lit. Yeah. Like, we going. Like, we can go somewhere. Right. So, I think from us traveling, like, doing a lot of the travels, and even us having our MPS thing. Like, the MPS thing, I think that's when I
Milwaukee
realized,
Public Schools, for those that don't know.
Milwaukee Public Schools, yeah. When we had our MPS set up, I think that's when I was like, all right, if we get this, though, that means we officially something. Right. Like, we do this, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't until I was like, all right, bro, we a brand. And niggas need to start wearing us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Niggas need to start really wearing us and understanding what we are trying to put out here to everybody. Like, what Geekset really is. Yeah. And that's when it really became more serious for me.
What about you? Go ahead. I'll go ahead and shoot. So, I'll be real with y'all, and I'll be real with the public. You know, last year y'all didn't really hear me too much. I wasn't really into podcasts like that, and you know, I deal with
that was the birth of Didge.
That was the birth of Didge.
So a little bit before that.
A little bit before that. But you came official because like, oh, we don't know where the fuck live.
So your first episode was just a feature.
Yeah.
So part of that was like, you know, I deal with a lot of anxiety, you know, and occasionally depression, and there's things that I got to deal with. But I'll be honest with y'all. Like, it took me a long while to really say, okay, I think this is something that's going to take off. And that actually came within the last year. And a lot of it had to do with Ron, with Bacardi, setting up the shirts. That was a little bit of taste of it. Mm-hmm. But then when I seen that, you know, we're getting invited to do cons, and we're getting media passes, and we're doing, like, I'm like, okay, people know us. And I felt a little bit bad because, you know, I a lot of the times I was out of the show. I was dealing with, you know, with my own shit. Yeah. And sometimes I got to break out of the show. This year has been the year where I said, okay, I think this is something that we definitely are absolutely going to be able to do and monetize from it and be successful from it. Because remember, when we did the first show, I told you motherfuckers, I've given us 3 years.
Did you say 3 years?
I did.
He did.
I did.
Did he?
He finna end the statement I gave y'all the 3 years.
I said, I will give us 3 years. And if I don't like feel that we progressing, like it's no offense to anybody, but I'm just like, I don't want to do it as a hobby. I'm gonna be out, and the reason for that is because, you know, I was a recording engineer for you know 10 years of my life, and I dealt with a recording group, and even though with a group here locally in Milwaukee, and even though we had minor success locally, and never took us outside of what it was here. Now here we ate, we was good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But outside of that, you know, I'd go somewhere. You know, nobody know. But now, like, Geekset has been progressing. I was always adamant of saying I don't give a fuck about anything local. Don't take that offense to our local folks. I don't give a fuck about nothing local. I feel better when we move out and people outside in other states start recognizing what we do. And that's how you establish a brand. Because in Milwaukee, a lot of folks like to stay stuck with the Milwaukee culture, which is absolutely fine.
Yeah,
but
nothing wrong with that.
If we want to be successful and not work day jobs and not do things like that, we need to expand. And you know, seeing the drive that Ron was having with his merch, with the shirt, with our merch, you know, because it's ours. But you know, he's the head of that.
He's the head of it.
Seeing, I'm not gonna lie, seeing Deuces with the one-on-ones, the shit that he's done has surpassed any expectation. Excuse me. That I have ever had.
Go ahead, cry. Go ahead. That nigga said
So it was absolutely. I'm like, hold on, like, how is like Deuces is doing this on his own? We don't have a team. What you see on our YouTube, what you hear here, this is us. Yeah. Nobody does anything for us except for us. So seeing the reach that he had and seeing that people were reaching out to us, people were being open to the opportunity, people that have opportunities with huge media outlets and platforms and fucking with us, I was like, my God. I'm like, this is it. Like, we're finally starting to ground our feet. We're getting to a place, and within this year, and after seeing all that, experiencing on it, honestly, really, and this is funny because I was thinking about this the other day, this is really what's made me like really been like, I have to be 100%, 10% on my game, regardless of the issues that I'm going through. Because,
you don't want to get left.
Deuces is putting in his work. Ron is putting his work. I now have stepped up to the plate and taken my responsibilities on to put in my work. Ditch is putting in my work, his work. I've always felt like I've always been like, the low man on it because of the whatever the fuck it is that I've had to deal with. But, but seeing y'all has really inspired me to really, and has opened up my eyes to say, yo, we got something successful. And it's something that could be successful.
Yeah, I mean,
it's something that I think that we can move forward with.
Just before you get into this.
And just having this spot right now absolutely proves that because we fund this.
Yep.
We fund this. This just comes out of our pockets. The studio that we have 600 square feet now. We didn't have this before.
I mean, we didn't have
this is huge for folks.
Hey, wait,
you know what I'm saying?
Before you go, I just want to say too, because to something that Lib said, Lib felt like he wasn't pulling his weight. None of us felt that way.
But y'all my brothers though. Y'all will always feel, because we know if you fall, I fall along with you. But at the same time, I like to put in my work, but I definitely wasn't putting in my weight. Now I have because I spent 20 hours
the 14
building this
your 14
motherfucker.
hours added up for every hour podcast you missed.
This is all of
every podcast, every hour and an hour and a half podcast you missed.
But I guess it was just an opportunity for me to use the skill that I have. I'm very handy with my hands. I can build things. I can put things together. I'm handy-mandy like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
Did you go? I'll say what.
Yeah, let's get Didge because I want to hear what Didge.
Honestly, it was.
I feel like Didge was when he just got on.
It was just like, I'm bored.
I'm about to take this shit off.
And you are not wrong. It was day one. So obviously before I started being fully more on mic, I was there just because Poindexter had stuff to do, so I was there just engineering.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was like, all right, this is cool. I'm being able to hear the episodes early. Then I started getting on mic. I started getting on mic more, and I'm like, all right.
First episode, Diz was kind of timid. Yeah. he was timid.
Episode 19. It was called Geekset Family Affairs, and it was Diz filling in.
Was it?
Yep, episode 19.
I didn't know that.
Yep, I got it right here. Geekset City Family Matters featuring Didge, and it said, this is the description before you go. While Picardi's out letting his taco, While Picardi is out letting his taco meat flourish on South Beach, the Geekset crew brings in resident crew member Didge to fill in the void and discuss his geek upbringing, Ruby Rose as Batwoman, the James Gunn situation, Iron Fist 2 trailer, Venom.
I do remember that episode. I remember listening to it. Like, y'all disrespectful. But I do remember that.
That's what we call you Thought Hall.
I do remember that episode. Yes.
Dog, we gave you a quick 30 seconds of Hot Ones, Thought Hall.
I didn't know you that well at the time.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't know you that well at the time.
And what's so funny, y'all got the bromance. Like, y'all niggas got the bromance.
We real bromies now. I mean, but I blessed them in. Like, I'm going to go out of town. You cover for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to put you on. You know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas don't know no better. You got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put you on.
That was 2 years ago, by the way, too.
That was what?
2 years ago.
So you didn't even 2 years with us, did?
Yeah, it was.
So you really only missed a year with us.
Yeah.
The first year. Wow.
But it was literally once I started doing more consistent being on the mic, I was like, all right, I like this. I really like doing this. If I'm gonna really like doing this, we gotta work towards something.
Yeah, you gotta go to something.
It wasn't like a slight against anybody or anything. I was just like, it was something my dad always told me growing up. It was, if you finna put your time and effort towards anything, you damn sure better be getting something out of it.
He ain't never told me that.
Hey, well, it's sad for you.
Maybe you out here getting it. Nigga, like, I ain't gotta tell him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really out here getting it.
He told me that all the time. Just like whenever I wanted to, like, going into college, when I wanted a major, he was like, you better feel like you can get something out of it. When I told him I wanted to do other little shit. Like, when I told him I wanted to...
don't do it, just be doing it.
Yeah, when I told him I wanted to make music at the time.
And I think so, yeah.
You better get something out of it. When I told him I wanted to make films, you better get something out of it. If you're going to put your effort into it, put all of it so you can get something out of it.
Yeah.
So when I started doing more with this, I was like, okay, I got to get something out of this. That means I got to make sure we all get something out of this.
So I mean, you know, what you want? You want me to say my little part first, before you go?
No, well, I already no. I
said
told
his
you,
part.
Did he say his part?
Mine was from the beginning. So
Yeah,
my vision of this from the start was this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So for me, it's like, for me, when I even like now us having a building, like, this is what I've always pictured even when I did music, like off the block, like when I was really doing music, it was like literally being in a studio with like-minded individuals with skill sets that we can all do everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not use nobody. Like,
Yeah.
like finding people who want to learn how to do videography, find people who want to, when you come, so if we were to sign an artist, like, nigga, you finna get the works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we all finna work you.
Yeah.
Like, so even if you had a label, it's like, huh?
I got that little bottom the breeze bounced off here or something. You
rubbed your tummy like Winnie the Pooh.
That shit felt great right there, dog. It is hot over here, dog.
That thing cost some honey, nigga.
It is hot over here, dog.
Hey.
But I mean, no, yeah. So it's like I feel like I wanted that so bad back then. Like,
right.
like I grew up like, I mean, it was a lot of the times with me and my little brother that was like the main duo. But in the beginning stage, I actually had a team. I had about 10 people that was with me. And I was the only one trying to really put it all together. Like, the mind state of telling what we can all do, and you know what I'm saying? But everybody just wanted to be a rapper. And it's like, fam, we need to have more skill sets.
You gotta have a team. It can't just be rappers.
But I mean, like, we all gotta build this together.
So what's funny, and so this is what's funny too. So behind the scenes, there was many of Geekset arguments and fights.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, we ended an episode with one. Let's not.
But what's funny is a lot of the shit that we've been fighting for is what we're doing. Like, I've always wanted it, like, okay, I don't want to have a hand in everything. I just want to be able to just say, okay, I trust it, right? So, like, when it comes down to the video, like, and shit like that, like, I trust Didge with it. When it comes down to the merch, I trust Bacardi with it. Like, I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to check in and everything like that. But it was funny because when I was trying to position it, I don't think it came across that way.
Yeah, it's the way things we get it presented.
It became a big ass argument.
You put some liquor together, some meat.
Hey, Deuces does sometimes have a terrible way of saying things.
All of us. There's been many arguments where you look back at it, it's like, shit, we just suck at it. We need to talk
But
about
I mean, this was legit. I think it started when we was trying to do the Joker thing, and I was like,
I gotta take a pause. Ron is killing me right now. So
I gotta hold it like this.
You covering the whole mic with your
Why don't you
finger.
hold it like this? You see how I got that?
I don't like how your fingers look. I don't want to hold it like that.
You gotta understand,
like I'm holding a cigar.
These only will hear us if we speak directly through it. If you talk to it like this, nigga, you talking to a snow cone. Like, there's nothing coming through it.
So I gotta hold it like this.
The diaphragm is right here in the front of the mic until we get the new mics, y'all.
This is hilarious.
Patreons.
We all figured this is first. This is rough
Give
draft.
us money because we want new mics. I'm tired of these motherfuckers holding these mics wrong.
Hey, I'm holding mine like a cigar.
but like that was funny because like it started from that, but like that was what I was trying to convey was like we should be able to. I should be able to just be like, all right, Bacardi, you got the merch. Whatever you need from me, I jump in. But I guess it came across like I don't want to do shit, and so.
Right. Well, no, I mean,
I was like, you gonna make me do these things by myself. What's wrong with you, boy?
I mean, you know,
right? That's what he said too. What's wrong with you, boy?
That came at a time when you was heavily Diddy influenced. And I'm like, nigga, you not my Diddy, nigga.
But I wasn't. And you still holding your mic wrong.
But I wasn't.
This, goddamn it, like this.
But I wasn't trying to be Diddy influenced. I wasn't trying to come across as Diddy.
We're gonna have to take a commercial break. Liv gonna be up front.
I was Liv on the fight. He gonna knock the whole mic off my hand. Like, nigga, just chill out.
Like I said, I wasn't trying.
This podcast, we done.
I wasn't trying to be Diddy influenced. I literally was trying to be like, look, you can handle it. I trust you. Just handle it.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do.
But you know what? At that time, we didn't really know that we were assigning ourselves roles. We assumed that when one person brought something to the table, we all had to dive in. I'm like, right now at the point, like, you know, Ron do the merch stuff.
Yep.
He did the marketing. You know, Deuces is hitting up the
PR. PR,
the celebs.
Yeah.
You know, Dish is doing the
videography,
the editing.
all tech
I'm
shit,
doing
really.
the audio engineering and making sure that Ron holds his mic the right fucking way.
I mean, apparently you're not getting your money's worth, but I'm not holding the fucking mic the right way, nigga.
You looking fire.
Even more of a case.
You about to get a write-up. That's what you about to get. You about to write your ass up.
For real.
You're gonna go to your email later.
Two more infractions, you gonna miss 2 shows.
So you gonna miss 2 shows. Nigga been swimming like an NBA, like nigga, you gonna be out one podcast.
I'm about to talk to you like my name is Bob.
Nigga, you gonna be out one podcast, man. Keep playing.
Keep playing.
You gonna hit me with the rep like Get out of here. Get him out of here. Get out of here.
Just for the record, for the folks that's listening, you know, we use dynamic mics, and you know, you have to talk to them in a certain way. So when you talk to them on the side, that's why sometimes you hear the shit don't.
Interesting episode.
Hey, we give them the
This is an interesting episode. And you know what? This is a very intimate episode. Yeah, it is.
This is our first episode I played.
It's like when you meet a chick that you kind of really like, and you fucking on her and you pillow talking. But we pillow talking with the people, you know.
We pillow talking.
We pillow talking.
I ain't fucking on the people though, Liz.
We're giving people behind the scenes on what built this.
I mean, we really this is a really emotional episode. This is our first episode. You almost did earlier.
Because I'm proud.
Hey, it's so hot. They gonna think you just sweating.
Even this,
low key, I'm proud. I'm proud as fuck.
Hell yeah.
3 years. I said 3 years.
We gonna hit 3.
And it's almost 3 years to that day. We got our own spot.
AKA Liv is saying we got 2 weeks.
No,
if he don't get the shit done in the studio, he's like, nigga, y'all didn't make the deadline.
Wait. Hold on.
No, but
it's like 2 weeks to the day. We were saying it was September 19th.
Because you know me.
September is our.
I'm a very blunt, upfront person. I'm not gonna be passive aggressive.
September 19th actually is our.
I'm gonna tell you from the jump. So you know, Diz remember it. I guess. I said 3 years, and I'm happy that at 3 years we are here. We have our own thing, and we are doing absolutely amazing.
Fantastic. I mean, we still love each other, even though we hate each other behind the scenes.
We just hate certain aspects.
Mannerisms.
Mannerisms.
I mean, which is perfect though. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be.
I wish I could be here when y'all be like, man, Liv be on that. Liv be like, I want to hear like.
I mean, we not the fucking Teletubbies. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas hate. We hate each other every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
shit be irritating.
Hey, low key, I would never do another podcast with anybody else.
Well, but you know what's funny? Out of all the arguments, I'm talking about, we've had heated arguments where niggas walked off, but not once had anybody said, man, fuck this podcast.
Never. Yeah.
And we always come back.
Because you know why? Because this podcast is us. This is us. This is our family.
But it wasn't a fuck this podcast, I'm done. It was a fuck this podcast.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Because I give you guys a day off. Like, fuck y'all.
But that's what I mean. Like, nobody has like quit on the podcast.
Because you know why? Because we respect each other, and if we say fuck this podcast, we are saying fuck everybody in here. Regardless of any, for me personally, regardless of any discretion, regardless of any argument, like I can't look at y'all like motherfuckers that I'll ever hate. Like I won't ever go to, I can't.
Yeah.
I got loyalty.
What you got on your hands?
I'm extremely loyal to who? Us. Fuck that shit, dude. You should have cleaned it.
Your face. Nigga like he didn't touch the spider or something. Like
he was distressed. He was like,
I set my hand down, and it just stuck for a second.
That nigga said,
he caught a booger on his hand.
I don't know if y'all like that. When I set my hand down and it sticks for a second, I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
This was like, who's jerking off on the table? Did it clean up?
Like, damn, we got our own spot, but this is not what it's for.
That's why I said put the cloth on, nigga. You ain't supposed to touch the real table.
You ain't supposed to touch the real
table, nigga.
Like, you touch the cloth, it's clean,
But no, yeah, I mean,
but on the real, man, y'all my brothers, regardless, you know, even if we have disagreements or arguments over this, I would never in my life be like, fuck this podcast, because I feel if I say fuck this podcast, it's going to be fuck y'all. I've known Deuces
I can't reach you, so that'd be pointless.
13, 14 years.
More than that.
Probably more than that. I've known Ron for a good 10 years. Didge is the only one that has come in brand new that I've known for the last year. But you know what? This is my motherfucking brother, and he's got my goddamn loyalty for life.
Way back when, and it was just.
But I don't remember.
Yeah, we don't. It was a one-off. So it wasn't like it was like a.
What's funny is that I remember that day. What's funny is that I remember that day when you came. When you came to my studio with Astro, and I remember that day, but Didge was still young. He wasn't talking. Like, he was quiet. He was sitting on my futon that was stained from like.
That was so crazy.
Wait. I'm sorry, Diz, but that futon, nobody should have ever sat on that.
Wait. Before you get that, I just want to bring up a date. So, me and Streets dropped our first album, The Future, in 2005. So meaning that we potentially recorded songs with you in 2004.
I didn't record. Remember, I didn't have a studio.
No, but we got that beat from you.
Yeah, it was like 2003.
Yeah,
2003, 2004. You got two joints.
So that means that you know us. You know me for 17 years.
God damn.
Yeah, we know.
I never. You know what's so crazy? You know, I've known Deuces throughout those 17 years, but it wasn't like
I thought it was another.
We were in each other's.
We need some more chaser.
It wasn't like we was in each other's house, but I've always or family or shit like that. But I've always respected dude. To when this idea came up, I was like, yo, you know, I can do this. I can do this with Rudy. Well, not Deuces. I can do this with Rudy.
But you know what? So here's where we actually.
I love that man. Liv call you Rudy.
Yeah,
I love that man. I want to say that in my mind. I love that man.
But wait, here's where Liv became family. And
that's old school. We the old heads, nigga.
And shout out to UMG for this. So there was a point in time where me and Streets wasn't doing shit in the city. Now we was doing everything outside of the city where people thought that we didn't live in the city no more. They thought that we lived outside the city. And for
You're
those
a bad
who,
man.
Let me taste this whiskey, man.
Like you want to taste it too?
For those,
let's get a little sip of freedom, fam.
Yes.
Hold on. Let's get a little sip of freedom. Before you do
This
it,
episode is called Sip of
everybody
Freedom.
pour up a little sip of freedom.
Hey,
Hey, did you pour you? So I told you
Yeah,
at the gym.
I got Coke in here. Nigga, I had to have Coke and the rest of my clubs. I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you added more? Like Rudy about
This
to
a
turn
walk down memory lane, Geekset episode.
I need to taste it straight because
Just take a shot. Yeah, just take a shot.
Yeah, but I don't know about your judgment.
I ain't got something in mind.
I don't.
No, nigga, you know my judgment's good because I told you about the badass. I tell you about the bad whiskey. I try shit, but I tell you about it. It's bad.
I want to hear Rudy's story still.
But I mean,
because I'm in it.
We all got to drink now. So I want to take our first sip of freedom.
First sip of freedom.
First sip of freedom. You know what I'm saying?
AKA, hopefully I don't fall out.
My God, freedom tastes disgusting. Oh my God.
That shit tastes like wood.
That's not a
Real
great,
wood.
That's not a great whiskey.
That shit tastes like used biker
I
leather.
think you like it.
Nah, I said it's not that.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I never co-signed it.
God.
I just said I tried it.
That shit tastes like leather dipped in hand sanitizer.
Oh, yeah, I gotta have Coke if I'm gonna have some more.
Yeah, Jesse James full of shit, bro.
Fuck
Jesse James bogus.
Fuck your taste of freedom.
Hey, you know what? If that's freedom, that's what the fuck we dealing with right now. You know what I'm saying?
It is
like
horrible.
this don't taste right.
That's Trump's freedom right there.
This don't taste like freedom.
That's Trump's freedom.
But
that's Trump's freedom.
Yeah. Let me go back. But so there was a point, like I said, we was doing so much out the city that people didn't think that we was from the city.
Yeah.
And so for those who remember, like that like the live, not Live on North, it was like Mad Planet.
Yeah, man, the East Side. East Side.
What's Stonefly.
Stonefly. So what? Yep. So this is what it was. Andy hit us out the blue and was like, "Yo, we."
Huh? The Jameson.
Oh,
Andy, by the way, was like our
manager.
He's my
shout out
Andy.
Shout out
he was
Andy.
like quote unquote our manager.
Yep.
Extra. Shout out to
Andy, my guy. That's
extra. And so he hit us out the blue, and he hit me, and he was like, "Look, hey, we're gonna be doing a show. Can y'all come up and do a show at Stonefly with us?" And I was like,
"I think y'all did. Y'all do the show with us too?"
I think it was.
The Grind On Play Later show I did?
think it was.
Yeah, well, so that
was a UMG show. It was a
UMG
UMG show.
Like, did I have y'all do the show with us too?
We did that, and we also did the Super Dopalicious show with us and the Cranberry Show and everything. But that was our first time there. Now, at this point, I was like, we ain't did shit in the city. Niggas don't fuck with us. But lo and behold, we didn't know that UMG fuck with us that tough.
Yeah.
And then for that next, like 4 or 5 years, every time that UMG had something, they included EMP, Streets of Young Deuces, and we became family to the point like it was like a collective. It was UMG, EMP, Born Brothers, Cranberry Show, Off the Block. Like it was like a collective of this is who we only doing shit with. And
that was some good years.
There was some good ass years.
Wait, hold on. We missing the most important part.
Who?
Andy hit him up because I was like, "Hey man, Streets and Young Deuces."
Oh, so I didn't know that part. See, that's the thing. I didn't know that part.
Because you recorded them first. Because you already recorded them.
Well, because I known them, and I'm not gonna. I'll be honest with you. Like the reason I was like hit up Streets and Young Deuces because y'all were the first motherfuckers that had shit retail. Like I went to Mainstream one day. For people that don't know, Mainstream is a music store that sells CDs. And I'm going through CDs one day.
Streaming so long.
And they still exist.
The way he described the store.
But wait, they still exist?
They still exist. So I went to Mainstream and I was like, Streets and Young Deuces. I pull up the record and it's a set. It was Streets and Deuces. And it was the shit that I had produced on. And I was like, these motherfuckers got shit in retail. They must have fans. They signed. Like, these, like, I didn't know. Like, when they came to the crib, like, they was youngin'. Like, how old are you, Deuces?
I'm 34.
34. I'm 37. So when you met me, I was 19, 18, 17. You were about 17, 16. Yep. So they came out around that time.
Yeah, you was 9.
I thought those motherfuckers.
That's what Liv keep always saying.
That's what I always say. This is 9.
Liv got your math on He like showing how you were younger, nigga.
So I hit up when Andy hit us up like we need another act. I was like, yo, these cats I know, Streets and Young Deuces. I produce for them. You know, they got this going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, hit them up. You know, like I fuck with them. They cool people. I had them in my house. They cool people. Fuck with them, you know. After that, it was just history. You know what I mean?
Shit, I didn't even know that. Like I said, I never knew that part of the story.
Look at Liv throwing out his cosign. Yeah. He want his roses, fam.
I love roses.
Could act like you don't want them.
I love roses.
You want your roses, fam.
Hey, it was like when we did the UMG thing. Like my homie Damian Elzy, he's the one that really put us on into the local scene. But before UMG was a thing, I knew Damien. Like, I met him because he heard some of my beats, and he was in a group called Black Elephant. And they were touring all through the colleges, doing shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I know Black Elephant.
We hadn't formed UMG yet, but when they wanted to do shows, you know, they hit us, me and my guy Mecca, up as United Nations.
Man, shout out Mecca. I ain't heard Mecca name in a minute.
So after that, you know, he wanted to do more shows. I was like, you know, let's open up a studio. We opened up a studio. I hope that my homies don't disagree to this, you know, but I opened up a studio and I kind of like, I hate to say, I know y'all fucking with me, talk about roses, but I'm really timid and shit like this. But like, I kind of brought it full circle because I was like, you know, I know Prof because I met Prof because of this studio. Yep. And this motherfucker Cole right here, and he fuck with a motherfucker named Cash, you know, and Yo Dot. Like, let's just bring this UMG shit together and, let's bring these motherfuckers together. And then my guy Andy hit me up with the idea of UMG, which standing for Umbrella Music Group. Yep. Umbrella stood for bringing all types of people under one umbrella. It stuck with us, and you know we just put it together. Yeah. We put it together.
What was Umbrella stand for?
Umbrella. The concept of having Umbrella Music Group was that we are one huge umbrella. We're struggling artists.
Hey, you want to know what's funny?
We share these resources.
Like yeah, I know.
Let's bring everybody under this umbrella.
Same mentality, yeah. Like
so
this
that way we can move forward.
Before you move forward, I just wanted to say one thing about EMP. EMP the same thing. So when EMP,
that's Rug. Yeah, we did that Rug.
When EMP first started, this is super history. Streets had his own crew. I had my own crew.
I want you to see how you hold your mic.
But you see how I hold it directly to my mouth?
Why is it, but Bacardi, you like this far, though?
But you take it like this.
Bacardi always interrupting me. He always interrupting me, though.
I'm mad.
He always interrupting me, though.
I'm sorry, Rudy.
But like,
I apologize.
Because I want Liv to finish the story. But like with EMP, the same thing. Like, so Streets had his own crew. I had my own crew. And P-Rod, Promise for the Radio, he had his own crew. And so what we did was we was like on some like, all right, when we all come together, though, we call ourselves the Empire. And so that's what started with like Empire. But then what my crew was on some bullshit. It was just like niggas that I fuck with and shit like that. And they wasn't really rappers. So then when I went to high school with Streets, because everybody, for those who know, Streets is my cousin. So me and him went to high school and I was like, fam, I'm gonna just rap with your crew. And he was like, no, let's just start something new. And then we was just like, well, let's just call ourselves EMP. Let's start the Empire. And that's what EMP, because it was supposed to be, the Empire is a collective of a whole bunch of people put together.
So Empire Music, EMP is Empire Music Group, meaning it's an empire of everybody trying to come together.
And then we just shortened to EMP Entertainment, and we just stuck with EMP.
I like that. I didn't know EMP actually was Empire. I always thought it was just EMP. I thought it was EMP, and I thought EMP actually stood for
so
like
it did. We made stuff
Empire
after
Music.
No, I thought EMP.
So I know, but I knew because you know they even had the motherfucking buildings. What's wrong with you, Ron? They symbol was a motherfucking building. It was Empire. Empire.
It could have been called building.
These were the first
trucks. It was just a building. It could have been called building.
You know what? I don't want to bore too many people with our stories
with the
that they don't know.
Stories,
I was gonna say that was a great.
We might actually do a segment of like really do some origin stories.
I just want to say that this group is deeply rooted.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the origins as musicians and as
business
artists
people
and rappers,
and everybody,
like I don't think we would be, where we are right now.
Definitely.
Like I've been a musician all my life, since my father showed me how to play
me too.
maracas when I was young. Doing salsa music, Puerto Rican dancing.
My very first memory of music was being in the studio as my dad recorded his album with his band when he was in the military. They put out an album. I remember the songs. The first rap that I ever learned was a rap from my dad. Same thing. Music has been part of my life.
Like the music. I feel like our music background makes this easy.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. Because when I'm promoting the podcast, I'm promoting like a mixtape rapper. I'm like, yo, support. Like I'm out here. I'm pushing that shit. Like
you out here like Blank D. You are right on this. Right on day.
Like
DJ K Slay is put here. Walmart.
I'm out here.
So
I mean that's what I'm saying. Like,
give me $5 for this.
I think that's really a great thing to look at. Like people who've actually had. Like I mean that's what I'm saying. Deuce still had his rap career. Like he's still heavily focused on, what I'm saying, like and doing great music, doing it. You know
he got a message. Like I'm proud of my dog right now with the music that he's putting out right now. It is way more phenomenal and better to the stuff that he's done.
Chadwick Boseman just passed.
Okay,
Chadwick Boseman just passed.
Hold on.
For what? How, nigga? What?
Black Panther is
colon cancer.
He had colon cancer. Holy fuck.
So that's why he was so skinny.
He had colon cancer?
Okay. We gotta stop this shit. Okay. We gotta all right.
He just passed now?
6 minutes ago.
Whoa.
Bro, he was like, how old was he?
43.
Dog, hold on, bro. Dies of cancer at 43.
Dog, like
has he been prominent in anything lately?
Well, I mean,
it's been COVID, but it's like.
But I mean, have anybody seen him at like actually like his Instagram or anything? Has he been doing anything?
People were seeing him out, and they remember people assumed that first. So he was losing weight, and people was like, "What's going on?" Then people was like, "Well, maybe he's doing it for
another movie,
right?"
So he hasn't been telling nobody that he's been actually sick. Fam, that's
right, my stomach.
Wow.
My stomach legit just dropped.
Like, that's fucking, bro. What is 2020 doing,
bro? This year's fucking. I don't even know.
That's 42, bro.
43, but
so 43. Bro. What's really bad? What's really bad about this though is like my mom had colon cancer, so I know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother's definitely, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm old, me and Libby, I'm old. You know what I'm saying? My mother's definitely pushed to like getting your what's the checkup? What's it called? What the fuck is the checkup card? For the check for colon cancer and all that.
Like a biopsy?
I can't think of the name. The colonoscopy.
Oh, colonoscopy. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because my mother had it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to know that he had it in his realm, and I saw I witnessed my mother during during this, and she beat it. So it's like I didn't know he even had this. This is fucking
Since
wild.
2016, that means he filmed Black
All right,
Panther.
man.
He filmed Black Panther with cancer.
Like they said since 2016.
So, I know that we share in our moments, but like this is really fucked up. Because it's just like Kobe's death. Like I didn't expect bro to go, and I'm not a huge basketball fan, but when he passed away, like it hurt me.
That hurt my stomach.
It hurt me.
It hurt because it was so out of the blue. It was so random.
And now Chadwick Boseman.
Bro,
and he was like in the prime. Like he was growing to be great. Like you can't do.
He was great.
Like I mean, but I'm saying like, but he was like.
I know what
you're saying.
Like
we didn't know who he was. We didn't like Black Panther kicked them off. Even though he been doing shit before Black Panther. He was doing it before that.
Jackie
Robinson was cold.
Wow.
But I mean, but he was doing stuff before. But like Black Panther, as far as like how we treat him, came like his stardom came from.
You know what, I guys, I'm sorry, but man, like this is really fucked up.
This is, bro.
Like I was having a great time, and I enjoyed sharing stories with you. I hate when great people pass away.
Me too.
Chadwick Boseman was, God damn it, I fucking hate that the alcohol is hitting me right now. Chadwick Boseman, he did so much.
Dog, get on up.
With just,
like,
with his platform.
What he did that was so great, and
he gave children that couldn't relate.
Yes,
he couldn't relate to superheroes. A way to relate.
Like, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we cannot replace him.
Like, he's our Black Panther. Like,
we can't replace him.
Like, the first Black Panther put it on screen that had the world to see was Chadwick Boseman.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
but like Liv was saying, that was for a bunch of bunch of kids who, and I remember going to the movie.
I mean, we live through a society now where people think that Wakanda's for real because of dude.
I literally remember going to the movies and seeing that. I went to Black Panther the day it released. I remember seeing little kids who were just like, Mommy, I can be a superhero. Like there was a little kid who literally said that, and I was just like,
it's so heartbreaking because you know one thing that didn't attract me to superheroes was that I couldn't relate. I couldn't relate to them. And the fact that Chadwick took the moniker of Black Panther.
You can't even do it no more.
You can't. There has to be. That's it. That movie has to be done.
No one can replace Black Panther. Like, that's over.
That means he did Black Panther. He did Infinity War. He did Endgame.
Like, you can't put another Black Panther.
I can't believe this.
He did all of that.
I wanna like
with cancer. Like, he's literally been an active Avenger.
Bro, we gotta take a break, man.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break on this. We're gonna take a break
because this shit has fucked me up too much.
But I mean, like, we definitely like.
I'm tired of good people passing away,
bro.
I'm tired of shit that gives us an opportunity for us to think that we can have the opportunity
that we can win.
DCP exactly. And motherfuckers that put us in positions that make us feel like we can't win are still out here living. This is the shit that I fucking feel passionate about. That absolutely just drives me. We gotta take a break, y'all.
Yeah, we gotta take a break.
We gotta take a break, man.
We'll be back.
We gotta take
a break.
We'll take
a break. We're taking a break.
We're gonna take a quick detour, but it's a necessary detour. I'm gonna throw it to my man Lib right now. Lib got a couple of things that he want to say on the unfortunate news that we got and just how we are feeling right now. So Lib, I'm gonna give you the mic, man.
I mean, we had an amazing first half of our podcast.
Yeah, we did.
I truly enjoy
it was
reminiscing and going back and talking about our roots. And a reason, I do this podcast is because, for those who look at our cover, I just want you to fucking know I'm fucking Puerto Rican. I ain't white, I have my own culture.
Right.
And I'm here with my 3 black brothers. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for them and for shit that happened and, in the 1960s and civil rights movements and things like that, we wouldn't be here. Right. A lot of people don't understand that about us as Puerto Ricans. We're pretty much the only, I hate to say Latino and I hate to say Hispanic because a real Puerto Rican doesn't really necessarily call themselves that.
Okay.
We're islanders, we're Caribbeans. Our culture comes from Taino Indians and African culture, and a majority of what we eat, how we dance, the music that we make is absolutely influenced by that. But it hurts me to find out that a man, and people might think that this idea is frivolous because he was on the big screen.
Yeah.
He was on TV. Why do you care so much that this person, why are you so emotional that this person that portrayed a character has passed away? Why does this hit you so personally? Well, let me tell you why it hit me so personally. It's because when I walked into the movie theater on the first week that the movie was released,
Black Panther?
I seen Black Panther. I seen black children who have never been able to relate to a superhero in comic books or on TV. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bot because I didn't know that this shit was gonna happen, so I drank a little bit.
It's an unexpected blow.
Exactly. Yeah. So excuse my stuttering or my slurred words, but they never seen a black superhero be portrayed on the screen the same way as Black Panther has. Now, Chadwick Boseman, he had the opportunity and the privilege to portray that for so many in America that gave these children that we, that we're raising, the opportunity to see somebody on TV screen and to look at him and be like, yo, I want to be like him. Yeah. And this kind of goes back to a conversation that I was having with Ron. Growing up, I'm very happy at the position that I play right now within my job. I have a very good job, just like all of us. I make very good money. But I'll be honest with you. About 8 years ago, 5 years ago, hell, even probably 3 years ago, I never thought that I would have the opportunity to live the way that I live, because growing up, the only people that I would see that would do jobs to this stature, to this position, were Caucasian people. Yeah. And I couldn't relate to them. The people that were doing the shit jobs, like janitoring or working in factories.
Lunch ladies.
These were
ladies and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Lunch ladies. Like my mother she was a lunch mother. My mother struggled her entire life. My father too. Like these are the people that I saw that have those jobs and those opportunities. And for me to have the position that I have right now, I would have in my normal working 9-to-5 job, I never thought in my life that I would ever be able to have that opportunity, because I never in my life seen people like me, Puerto Rican people, black people, have that position. When I combine Puerto Rican and black people together, I do it on purpose, because if it wasn't for civil rights movements, us as Puerto Ricans, we wouldn't have the opportunities that we have now. A lot of people don't know and don't see these things because the movements that we had were very small, because we were an extremely small community. The only privilege that we have over black people is that we have an island that we can go back and refer to, and we know exactly where we come from. But what people don't know is that we have been colonized since the day that Christopher Columbus stepped on our island. We have never had our own identity. A Puerto Rican isn't an original person from that island. It is a combination of Spaniard, Taino Indian, and black people and Africans. So when growing up, I never thought that I could reach the position that other folks that weren't like me would have. I never thought that I would have the ability to provide to my kids where I wouldn't have to rely on food stamps, where I wouldn't have to rely on government assistance. Yeah. So it's really emotional, and it really hits me hard when good people that portray that type of image to our youth get taken from us because of things that they cannot control. Yet, people who continuously spew hate, prejudice, racism, and all of that shit continue to live prosperous lives. And it goes back to systematic racism. Yeah. Because people like us, we can't afford the same health care as people who are privileged that would allow them to live extended lives, to be put in a position where they're showing kids that look like us, or kids that basically it doesn't show kids that look like us that we can ever achieve. These are unachievable goals that we cannot, that we feel that we can't touch. I am 37 years old. I did not know until I was about 31, 32 years old that I can achieve something to put myself in a position where I don't feel like I'm struggling, where I can raise kids, where I can teach them and make them productive humans in this society to continue to contribute until I was about 32 years old, because of the image of how we are put in, unfortunately, in America. Right. Puerto Rico has never, for the last probably 200, 250 years, has never been a place that grew with their own independence. They have always been owned. when we were found, we were Indians. The only thing we knew is that we praised a sun god, and we had fruits and vegetables, and we lived a good life.
Right.
When Spaniards came and colonized us, they tricked us into believing that if we trade what we have to them, they will show us a better life. But what they did was just rape and pillage. They killed off all of the men, and they raped the women, and then when they were done, they left their African slaves, and whoever wanted to slave to whoever wanted to stay on that island, Spaniards, on that island. You know, we have never been an island of independence. We have never known what it's like to be ourselves.
Right.
To be able to achieve these goals, because we have always been groomed to believe that, hey, this is how it is. This is what we want you to believe. So when we became American citizens in the 40s, you know, when we moved up here, we were used to be front lines in war, and we really had no idea as to what we can do as Americans, because we didn't have that. And that wasn't 300-400 years ago. Like, my dogs, that was like 1950s. Like, we were fucking, we have been owned by people, and we weren't even considered citizens until the 50s. So when civil rights movement started and shit like that, of course, we jumped on it, you know, because we knew that the black population was much more than us. But we knew that if they went ahead and they
made the changes,
it would trickle down on to us, because we didn't have shit. I mean, a lot of people, you know, a lot of people don't, you know because our population is extremely small. You know, when we became citizens, we were still segregated. We were still considered, excuse my language, niggers. These people still put up signs that would say, white people can drink here, but Puerto Ricans, they wouldn't even spell it right. They would spell it P-O-R-T.
They porta potty.
Porto, like a porta potty. Puerto Ricans and Negroes had to drink over here. You know, a lot of this happened throughout the East Coast, because that's where our population was, because a lot of us migrated to New York and to New Hampshire, Connecticut, you know, all of that stuff to try to find a better life, not knowing that, you know, that life wasn't going to be granted to us. So for me to see that a person that has influenced so many people throughout the last, when was Black Panther released?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago? You sure?
Literally, yeah, it was 2018.
2 years ago.
He's been doing Wakanda shit for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So for a person that put this image for young black kids to look at and say, this is something that I can attain, to be taken away because of a sickness and an illness. And mind you, he was extremely rich, so he probably had the access to way better health care, to be taken away from us. It's like a blow. And I feel that blow.
Because it's a God's blow at this world universe blow. Like, it's not like,
because I start to question. These are things that make me start questioning things like, well,
43.
we got pieces of shit. Yeah. We got piece of shit people leading our country. Pieces of shit that own a shit ton of housing that people like us move into and treat us like shit and hit us with evictions. Yet these people still continue to live. They give us absolutely no hope. Yet they're not taken. Yet people who get put into positions where they influence us, they show people us, regardless of how frivolous you might think a movie is, or whatever, it's the image. It's the image that that kids, that especially black kids, look at and say, "Yo, I can attain that. I could be a superhero." You know, they've never had anything to relate to. So it is an absolute blow to know that this man was taking over a sickness. Yet people who create division in this country, people like that piece of shit Kyle Rittenhouse, that is being praised by all these fucking white supremacists because he was defending something that didn't belong to him, even though he wasn't defending the goddamn thing. He's still alive. You know, people who do mass murders that get taken alive, yet motherfuckers that just don't comply get shot and killed in front, I'm sorry.
Kids.
What was the young man's name that was just shot in Kenosha?
Jacob Blake.
Jacob Blake. And I'm sorry, I just can't think right now because this shit has fucked me up. So for him to be shot in front of his kids because he didn't comply. Comply to what? He wasn't a suspect.
Right.
Why does he have to get
breaking
shot?
up a fight.
Why does he have to get traumatized? Why do people glorify that? Why do people glorify people like Kyle Ritner who shot protesters that weren't doing anything, that were peacefully protesting, that weren't attacking him? Why do people glorify this? Why are people that give us a good sense of, hey, this is something that that is positive for our life, that makes us feel empowered? Why are people like that taken from us? And why are people like Trump and Jared Kushner and all of their family, why do they continue to live? Why are they not taken? And I hate to speak like that because I'm not a person like that wishes death, but it makes me question things like
why are the good
spirituality.
Yeah, why is the good taken and the bad is still out
that believe
here?
in God and Jesus like this. And I apologize.
Or just believe in people.
I apologize to my co-host.
This is real. This is really raw.
I mean, it's a raw.
This is a raw moment. This is all
I
raw
apologize
moments.
to my co-hosts and stuff like that because I don't know where you stand religiously. I'm not a person that believes in Jesus. Hell, half the time I don't believe in God. What I believe in is what I see in. I really believe in this earth. I believe in this universe. I believe in this galaxy. I believe in good energy. I believe in things that make us good as humans. So if God was really a person that is described, or not a person, but an entity
that's
described.
That's might.
Right, that is described in the Bible as just, that he believes in just. He believes in doing the right thing. Why does he continue to allow people who give us, people that aren't white, people who are not of European descent, why does he continue to take things from us that makes us look at them and give us hope to believe that, hey, we can attain these things to make a better future for us, for our families? Why does he continue to take these things? Why does he continue to make us feel like, hey, like you're taking 10 steps back? Like, I know people are seeing or might think like, he was just a movie star. I understand that. But there's a message and there's an ideology. There's there's when kids look at that, kids are innocent. They don't understand things that happen. Yeah. They look at things and they say, hey, I want to be like that person. I want to be just like that. So when they see somebody that they can relate to, and they see him on the screen, on a big screen that they're paying a ticket to, and they go and see him, they're like, yo, Black Panther, Wakanda forever, and then that person is dead. But yet, people like Trump and people who continue to create racial division, people who continue to be racist, people who continue to talk down on people like us, continue to live, it makes me question, the existence or the spirituality.
It's a valid reason.
It makes you question a lot.
Things like God.
It's valid.
And it even furthers, and I'm sorry, I only wanted this to be 5 minutes. But it even furthers my personal idea that religion was just created by people that didn't look like us to keep us in line, to make us believe that if we follow this, we will be able to be led to a greener pasture. We'll have a great world after us, heaven. If you don't, you belong in hell. Like, I don't believe in that shit.
That's fair.
I cannot believe in it. Because when I look at it, I'm like, whoa, these motherfuckers claim that they believe in Jesus and God and they go to church every day. Yet they look at us and they be like, you're a goddamn nigger. Like, that's how true. Like, that's exactly how I feel about it. You're a goddamn spick. Like, how can you be spiritual, believe in these things, believe in what a Bible says, but yet condemn people that don't look like
even the Bible doesn't say, like, the Bible said to love every man. Like,
but that, even to me, love every man is it's like when I tell my kids, yo, if you eat your dinner, you're gonna have this piece of pie. You're gonna have a treat after it. To me, that's just something that's written to say, love every man.
So you can go.
So you can feel better about yourself because you feel like you're gonna go to ascend into holy world.
But you also bust that down though, because like now you get motherfuckers who be like, oh, it only said man, so that's why women have issues. Yeah. And why, you know what I'm saying? Like it only says man. You know,
and it extends out not only to like people that look like us, but also to women because and now I'm just diving off. And
I
want to touch it for a minute.
I want to bring it back.
I'm gonna bet you in the back in a minute. Like,
it's really emotional.
I got you next.
I'm sorry. I just gotta let this go. It's just extremely emotional to me. You know, because in the position that I am in this world, I try to influence kids and people that look like us, people that look like me, to strive for better. You know, to make sure that they don't fall into
or just believe in that.
They don't fall into that mindset that makes them believe like this is the only thing that I can attain. Yeah. No. You can attain more. You just need to understand that there's going to be struggle behind it. But if you're persistent and you keep moving forward and you do not change who you are, you absolutely can attain it. Do not settle for what other people made you believe that you have to settle for. So to see that someone who starred in this huge movie to pass away, that gave so much influence to other kids that look just like him, to pass away, yet people who are fighting for the to be a president that don't look like us and are treating people that look like us like shit are still living. It hurts me, bro. It makes me really question everything.
But and like I said, you made a whole lot of valid points, and I don't want to overshadow that. But the one thing I want, like I said, I mean, it is an unfortunate situation, but I do want to make sure that we talk about, like again, same thing, kind of like what Liv was talking about, why it hit us so much, and you know, kind of like a celebration of life in regards to this. So I'm gonna pass it on to Didge.
I mean, honestly, this hurts. Like, this year fucking sucks, though.
I mean, 2020 trash.
This year is fucking awful, and it's extra hard for black people. Like, we had so much bullshit that happened to us this year. And, like, I know I'm getting emotional because it's just, bro, it's one more thing that's just knocking a black person down. Like, I get, like, everybody's going to say, like, oh, he was a fucking movie star. But it's like, think about all the kids who just, now they know that they could be a black superhero. Now they know that they don't got to be white Superman.
Like, that's what
they don't got to be white Superman. They can be Black Panther. They can be somebody who fucking... They can be, but it's
Black Panther is right now.
He is Black Superman for so many kids.
I'm tired of this idea that if you're white, you can attain everything.
Yeah,
and if
that's
you're
true.
not, you have to fight and struggle for it. Yeah. Like I'm not. You know, people might take my comments out of context and think that I'm racist.
Don't worry about it.
I'm only racist against people that's racist against us.
Yeah,
you know, you could be a white person. You could be my best fucking friend. Understand me. Understand the people that I fuck with. Understand people outside of you. You know, I'm not a racist, and I don't want like to eradicate the earth of white people. I really don't. Like that's not my thing. I don't push that agenda. You know, I just want us to be the same way as y'all.
Right. It's the people that create the divide that I have no love for. If you are a person that is a bigot, if you are a person that is racist, if you are a person that looks at a hierarchy and believe that you are above other people, then I can't fuck with you at all. Like not one. Like, you know, like and I think that's one of the main things with this and why it hit so hard. But I want to make sure this finish.
Yeah, I mean like I said,
I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's fine.
I'm just super emotional, bro.
I'm heartbroken.
This is a moment. This is like
First, it was Kobe. Kobe gave so many children. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's an emotional time. Like I said, I'm heartbroken for him and his family. But I'm also so heartbroken for the amount of kids today that they're going to see their first big superhero that died, especially for the young black kids.
Yep.
Like, I know so many young black kids who admired him for the things that he did, for the things that he did for our community. And they're gonna wake up if they're asleep now. They're gonna wake up tomorrow realizing that again one of their heroes is gone. And as somebody who's already seen heroes die for themselves, it's just fucking heartbreaking.
Terrible. Yeah. It's terrible.
And I mean, I don't know.
As a Puerto Rican, I don't have anything to look at, anything to look up to, other than black folk that empower other black folk. And the reason, like, again, I say that is because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have the opportunity that I have now. Like, that's why it's like so important to me. Like, I was telling Ron, like, half my family is white Puerto Rican. The other half is black Puerto Rican. And even within us, like, there's still racial division.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well,
so I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, for me,
how you feeling?
Like, so hearing about Chadwick and understanding what happened to him, and like my mother having colon cancer, and surviving it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through that life with her, and to be honest, when I dealt with the life with her, I was in high school, and I was actually being more of a high schooler than someone who cared about a family having colon cancer. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I've apologized to my mother back then or whatever, but it's like, I was a 17, 18-year-old in high school where my mother was in the hospital. But that, for me, it was like, nigga, you get the keys to the house and the car, and you got to take care of everything. So it was harder for me to understand that I actually could have lost my mother in that process, while me being a teenager and just getting the keys in a house and I'm kicking it. Like, my mom not here. Like, I can do what the fuck I want to do. Right. But my father was the one trying to acknowledge to me, like, bro, your mom can die. Yeah. Like, you out here trying to enjoy this pleasure you got.
I had a similar situation.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you out here trying to enjoy the pleasure you got, but your mother can actually die. And you, like, you can be done from this. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't understand cancer back then in that realm to, like, see what it was really doing. Like,
because you're kind of ignorant to it. You kind of think that,
you're ignorant to it at that moment.
You know, you got doctors and stuff like that.
17, 18.
My thing off top was like, she gonna be saved. She's fine.
Yeah, you got doctors. But what you didn't understand is that there's different levels to these fucking doctors.
Even outside that, nobody ever thinks that their parents gonna die at that young age. Right?
Like,
I don't think, like, you don't think that. Your mind don't go there.
Yeah, my mother.
I don't think that now. Like, I don't do well with death, y'all.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't do well with death at all. I don't do well. I don't do well with death at all.
I'm so numb to it, bro, that I expect it.
Yeah, I don't do well.
I don't go to funerals and shit like that. Like, I really
avoid a lot of shit.
I don't do that though.
Yeah,
I would be an emotional wreck in a lot of situations.
So for me, like, hearing about, like, how we have the abrupt, like, knowing the news and even knowing what happened to him, and even talking about the fact that this nigga's been doing movies with this.
Bro, he was
like, he's the strongest.
He went to
this
nigga
is the
kids
strongest.
At Cancer Awards.
Yeah.
He knowing that he was going through the same fucking thing that they was going through. He was out there visiting them, trying to hype them up, trying to show them, look, tomorrow's gonna be a better day, while going through the same fucking thing.
Like, and not disclosing the fact.
He is the strongest African American I've ever heard of right now, and only because what he's doing relates to what my mother's fought. Like, I would love to see Chadwick Boseman walk into the hospital to my mama and be like, you fine. You're fine. You know what I'm saying? And she be fine. You know what I'm saying? But she, like, and she was fine, and she is fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, but the biggest issue I have is the work ethic that Chadwick Boseman gave to us without acknowledging to us that he is suffering.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as black people, we have built as men, we have built ourselves to really fucking fight through problems.
Yeah, we hide and we put a barrier around our feelings that we don't talk about.
It's devastating when a man dies and you don't know why.
You don't know why because we don't talk about it.
Because something came up after the fact.
Like,
because people shouldn't have to suffer.
And then you see the history, like, dog, he been through this. He been going through this.
Like, we shouldn't have to suffer in silence.
But that's too much. That's that shit we gotta unlearn. That's that shit that they talk about. Like, we've been taught. And we have been raised to be strong. You have to be the strong one. You got to be the strong one. You can't show emotion. You can't be weak. And that's the thing that we got to unlearn. We got to be comfortable with emotions.
That's the problem I have, because it's like, we have seen him as one of the strongest black men in movies right now, lately, or for the past year.
That's the point I was going to make.
He has been weakening constantly in front of us, and we have not seen it.
You know who's a good runner-up? I just want to add a little bit of lightness to this. You know who's a good runner-up? The motherfucker that went behind his back. It was with the other dude.
Who?
The dude that played in what's the movie?
Michael B. Jordan? You talking about?
No, not Michael B. Jordan. No, not M'Baku. Remember the other dude that was a host?
Forrest Whitaker?
No, you're missing one. What was the movie about the with the black dude and the black girl that were running away from the police?
Oh, Queen. Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, him. he a good runner up.
We don't need that.
I want to elaborate on what you were saying.
He was a hoe in Black Panther.
But I want to elaborate on something that Bacardi was saying and something that you said. Because one of the reasons why it hit so hard with me and one of the things that I was thinking about is, like, even, like, yes, he was Black Panther and he was T'Challa, and on surface is that. But he did also play a lot of our true heroes.
He ain't even from here, is he?
Yeah,
he's from here. But he's from Los Angeles. He played a lot of our true heroes. He played Thurgood Marshall.
South Carolina.
Yeah. He is?
Yeah, he.
I know.
Oh yeah, you're right. South Carolina. But he played.
It was the accent.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know he's always tweaking his accent.
But he played Jackie Robinson. He played James Brown. He played Thurgood Marshall. He played 3 very, very important people.
And he's done it, bro.
And he done it so well.
Bro,
so well.
For what you saying, we have kicked the fucking walls in for Muhammad Ali and Will Smith, all them doing it. Yep. And this nigga has been doing
it.
Roles that are Black history roles.
And we haven't. I saw that movie.
Like we haven't been. Like we are doing the Black Panther's Geekset. We're doing the Black Panther, talking about what he's done. But that's what I'm saying. Like this man has had an issue with his life personally, and has been taking on roles, whether he's telling people that he got a sickness or not. He's been taking on these roles and doing it with a smile on his face. Yeah. And that's the life of fucking Black people.
Yeah, man.
Like we do all this fucking turmoil and deal with all this shit, and the smile on we have to have the smile on our face. Because this nigga probably would have never been Black Panther if he told everybody, like, hey, I can't be here every day, this day, or this day, whatever. Like, you got to, like, tough through it because no one wants to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's completely also fair. Because, like we say, as men and Black men especially, whatever, it's like we don't know how to
express emotion.
No.
Literally. We don't. We don't know.
Hold on.
I'm going to stop all that. We don't know how to be like, fuck what y'all got going on.
Yeah.
I need to take care of myself right now.
And that's the thing, because we take on so much responsibility. Like think about the things, like the Black woman is strong. Like never take that away from the Black woman and things of that nature, right? So as a Black man, a lot of the times what we do when you are a righteous Black man, you do take the back seat to the Black woman, because you're like, you know what? Yes, that woman. That woman that's in that life, she needs to shine. We need to make sure we celebrate that. But then we take on, without even being said, when you are a righteous person, when you are a righteous man, you're like, you know what? I do need to make sure that I'm a provider. I do need to make sure that I am seen as strong in front of my kids. I do need to make sure that when people see this unit as a family, they see that I am the man in this family and that I'm not letting shit fly. And there's a lot of things that we take on before we take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about it, even in front of
sorry to cut you off, but like think about it this way. When you are in a relationship, just in general, and you got kids, if you are sick as the man, you don't really ask for too much help. Now, if the mom is sick, what do you tell your kids? Hey, make sure you help out your mom. She needs some orange juice. Make sure you doing everything for it. Now, the mom didn't ask for that, and the mom doesn't necessarily need that. But as a man, and the things that we take on, we're putting everything ahead of us. Yeah. Before we even take care of us. No, look, I know I'm sick, but you know what? I'm going to tough it out. I'm going to take my Robitussin. I'm going to do this on my own. I don't need y'all to handle. Y'all do your. I'm going to handle me. And that's one of the things, like what you're saying is like we put so much emphasis on us. Emphasis on everybody else before we take care of us, when there's a lot of stuff that we need to take care of.
I mean, like I said, like my thing is like, even what Lib was saying, like Chadwick got money.
Yeah.
So we know he probably was getting taken care of.
Right.
But he was probably being told, bro, you need to sit your ass down.
Yep.
You need to do this and do that. And Chad, like, nigga, I gotta make this money. Ain't nobody, them niggas ain't finna listen to me.
No, it ain't even about them niggas ain't listen to me. I'm pretty sure
Like,
he was like, I got family I gotta take care of.
Yeah, I
gotta do this.
I
gotta do this because I got my mom I gotta take care of. I got cousin that may be in jail. Like I don't know what his family situation is like, but I'm pretty sure
you don't want to lose the money.
You don't want.
As black
and it's not even about the money to ball out. It's like I'm putting my,
I'm making sure my family is good.
You just want to make sure you take care of everything. That's a paycheck, regardless.
We all worked sales before, right?
We don't know how movie paychecks work.
Right.
We all have job paychecks.
But like I said, we all worked sales before. And I'm pretty sure at some point in y'all sales life, you heard about the theory of you are going to change your family history. Like you are going to be the person that changed the legacy. You're going to make so much money that now your family is going to go into a new financial situation because of you. Right, and that's the thing that, like, when you look at the people that are motivated and try to do it, it's because they take on the family. They like, you know what? I want to put my family in a better situation.
I mean, you want to change, even what we doing for Geekset, like, we all are doing
everything
this to
is
change
because
our
you
family
want
dynamic and trying to be like, we're trying to show that there's more that you can do than what we're, you know what I'm saying, than what it is out there.
Yeah.
But it does take all of that strife, and it does take what Chadwick did.
Yeah.
But it takes that Chadwick, like, we have to still talk. Like, you have to teach that too. Like, in all the pressure and the strain that you're trying to put on to put everybody on, you have to talk about your problems. And I think I'm not saying that Chadwick didn't do it. We don't have that detail to know how many people knew that Chadwick had this issue. But we, as a world, didn't know.
Right.
So, and we knew Charlie Sheen had AIDS. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, we didn't know that Chadwick had colon cancer, and he's been our fucking Black Panther.
He had stage 3 to 4 while he
did
was
some of the most intense.
Black Panther.
Hold on. He had stage 3 and 4 doing.
He was not one.
It was stage 3.
I just read it.
It was stage 3.
So he gave us the most out of his life,
bro. That's the thing.
Most.
Like, he was probably that's what's so fucking heartbreaking.
He gave us the most out of his life, meaning that he probably had this. He had this when he didn't have the money to really probably take care of himself. And instead of taking care of himself, he was like, I'm finna get this Marvel money and all this shit and take care of everybody else. Like, he's leaving, regardless of what we're saying about Chadwick, he's leaving a legacy.
He is.
Yeah.
Like, he's leaving a legacy, and he's fought hard for it. He's fought, like, we have to still commemorate and congratulate Chadwick for fighting extremely hard through all the situations he got to do what he did. And if that's all we got from him and that's all we're going to get from him, this is he made his place. He did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's teaching, we're having this conversation about trying to do better for our family and trying to do shit because of what he did. You know what I'm saying? Same as with Nipsey Hussle passed, same as any other, but like, people are really, you can do as bad as whatever you want in your life, but when you finally reach a point that you really want to do shit that really fixes everybody or helps everybody, like, that's what I understand live. Like, we as a people find moments that, like, the people that we want to look up to don't last long. Like, the people that our culture want to look up to as heroes don't last long. Yeah. Martin Luther King didn't, Malcolm X didn't, Nipsey Hussle didn't, Tupac didn't, Biggie, like, anybody that you would say, like, this is my fucking, I want to be this nigga. Like,
Black heroes don't get.
He dies.
They don't get to last until.
Yeah, and I mean,
and that's
it's really heartbreaking because I was like, if the nigga got shot by a cop, honestly, numbness, I'd have been like, fuck. But you got caught by natural diseases that probably came from us not being people and talking more. Yeah. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that, like, we struggle as an interior culture about our illnesses and things that we have with us that we not, like, nigga, you, like, I mean, I hate it because it's like, he probably lost his career. He did. He lost his career. He lost everything he wanted to do because he probably in the beginning, which I've been there, and we all been there. If you ever had depression or anything like that, where you just don't want to talk about it. You don't want to tell anybody. You don't want to get help. You don't want to do none of that. So it's like, it probably hit stage 3 and 4 because 1 and 2, no one knew. No one knew.
That means he was battling it for years. You know.
Like, no one knew. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's fucking ridiculous that we as black people or as men in general struggle and die and fall. I don't even hear women dying. Like, if you talk about social media
they
posts,
die, bro.
I'm just saying, like, but if you talk about social media posts,
had to lighten up.
I'm
sorry.
Things that happen, like, it's been a lot of just men struggling and dying of something. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, whether it be police brutality or natural causes.
Well, black men in particular give children of the same, creed and identity and opportunity to be something, that they feel that they can't be. That's why it's so hurtful and impactful. And I say that with discretion because I don't want to say that it's not the same for any other woman of color because it's not. Yeah. But you do absolutely bring up a valid point with that. And it just goes back to tradition, It just goes back to the beginning of man. Man has always been looked at to be the stronger, and I say that in quotations, because
men are stronger by expressing emotions, because that's the fucking hard thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are a stronger man to be emotional. Like, to not be emotional is literally taking a whole facet of your body and be like and throwing it away.
Yeah, like, but for ages, not being emotional has always been the identifier of
even being a leader is to not be emotional. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, like, it's really crazy that we in this time. I mean, again, Chadwick Boseman, it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
And it's fucked up that it's like it didn't ruin our show. It made us acknowledge that, like, we are losing valuable black people at an alarming. We are losing valuable black people at an alarming rate.
Right, and it doesn't matter if they're famous or not. It's the fact that that black men are being taken way too early. They have children. Yeah. These kids are being left without fathers, without role models.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the stature that you have in your life. It is the impact that you have on one child. That one child could be a person that creates a vaccine for AIDS or for cancer or might do something extremely monumental. What's fucked up about it is that if you don't have the money, you don't survive, and your kids don't continue to live that legacy.
Yeah.
Generational wealth is a thing of the past. Like, it's something that I have been trying within the last 5 years to create, because I want my generation to continue to be successful. I don't want them to fall into this pit of the hood. I don't want them to fall into this pit of dependency. It doesn't have to be a person that makes $1 million a year or $500,000 a year. It starts with the person that feels that their self-worth is worth much more than the shit that has been presented to them. Yeah. And that's how we stop it. And I might seem a little bit radical here with this next statement.
Okay.
But I almost I'm a little bit apprehensive on saying it, but I have to be honest with you when I say that it depends on the integration that we do with each other. It does. When I mean with integration, I mean with how we put our families together.
Okay.
I say this with discretion, and it's almost like I don't want to say it, but it is almost guaranteed that a white family can be successful.
I mean, we've seen that. That's like trauma. Like,
my children have the liberty.
Shows that.
My children have the liberty to be with whoever they want, whether they're white, Hispanic, black. I don't fucking care. My preference, I would prefer that they integrate with a non-white person. And the reason I say this...
That's why you want to...
And the reason I know, but the reason I say this is because us as minorities, us as minorities, we don't experience the same amount of success. I want our generations, and it's important to me, I want our generations to prosper. I want them to grow. I want them to have things. I want them to be successful in what they do. It is statistically proven that a white family will be more successful than a black family.
That is true.
Than a
I
Hispanic
think this is a much larger conversation.
Yeah,
I know it is.
We're going to have to have another podcast.
Right. That's a whole nother
Yeah, I want to wrap it up.
And I apologize. I don't want to offend. I just.
No,
I don't want to offend.
We just need to wrap it up. We do need to wrap it up, bro.
Protecting our homes. I want everybody to be successful, and I would love for that to happen in the future. But as it is right now, we do have to protect that, because in order for us to integrate, we have to make sure that us as minorities, as much as I hate that word, it's the only way that I know to describe us. I want us to be successful, and I want us to build that foundation.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, in 200 years, there could possibly be no black and white. There could just be,
just people.
A mix of people of different colors and creeds because of their culture.
Yeah.
I totally
don't cancel me because of that. The listeners. But you have to understand, from people that have nothing, we have to protect the little bit that we have. We do.
Right.
Until we get to a position where we feel that we have the liberty to be like, all right.
Right.
We good.
Right. Which it makes sense.
That makes sense.
And I'm sorry. I hate to say that, but that's just the reality.
Don't apologize.
No, you don't got to apologize. We just need to wrap up.
I hate alienating people.
Don't apologize.
I hate alienating people, because I have white friends, I have black friends, I have Hispanic friends, I have all types of friends, Asian friends. I don't want anybody to feel alienated, but we do have to protect what we have until we're in a position where we feel that we don't have to.
Right. Which it makes sense though. As we
talking your mic though.
The problem of that is that Caucasians Caucasian the race doesn't understand that, and we're trying to put that on, that we want to have history for ourselves.
It's a broad
recommendations.
I wouldn't say all.
Well, I'm not saying all.
Let's just get to
I wanted to kind of clear.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I just want people to know, and I know we want to wrap it up. I can't stress the fact that it hurts me to say stuff like that, but it's the reality of the life that we live.
I can't
to protect what we have.
Liv's gonna be outside.
So I'm sorry.
When we get bigger, Liv is gonna be really on front lines, like tied up to a tree type shit. Like, y'all not finna fuck with us today.
You're
nigga.
not. When we get bigger, like, my platform won't be podcasting. I am really truly about empowering people in the inner city to move forward. That's why it is like very personal to me that I work for a school district that deals with inner city students, because I want them to prosper. I don't want our life to be in a division. I want everybody to be equal.
Yeah.
And if we set our mindset that we can have that, the next step is to convert people into thinking and into believing that, all right, I'm just on that bullshit.
Right. That
you
makes
shouldn't
sense.
be.
So that's what I'm saying. So let's wrap it up.
It hurts me to say stuff like that. I just want people to know. I'm sorry.
It was a very hurtful podcast. Like it didn't turn dark, but it just turned very.
It did turn dark.
It did turn dark.
But this is the reality of what we live in.
Let's get into recommendations.
Yeah, let's do recommendations.
So
you doing?
I'll go first.
First.
I'm going to recommend, if you didn't see it, I'm going to recommend Get On Up. It's just the James Brown story. Chadwick Boseman does an amazing job.
That is a hell of a movie.
And it's funny because
I actually haven't seen it.
So I
thought it was Jackie Robinson.
He did that too.
He did that too. This is a whole different movie. Get On Up is the James Brown story, and what's funny is because what I did was the way I got onto it, and because I remember seeing the trailer and I didn't watch it, and then I watched Bohemian Rhapsody. And I was like,
I love that movie.
Me too. And I was
that's a great movie.
Yep. And I was like, yo, this is dope. And then when
I just love hearing that shit loud.
Me too.
Like Bohemian Rhapsody, you can just play.
That shit cold, though.
And then
that shit cold.
And so when I was watching it, and then when I got done with it, I was watching it on Amazon Prime, and then it was like, recommendation. I was like, oh yeah, he did do this shit, and I watched it, and I'm telling you, for like the next 3 weeks after it, like, so he does the Caledonia, and like he does it's this scene. He like Caledonia, and he does it, and for the next 3 weeks after, I just kept on yelling it randomly. It was like my thing. It was so dope the way he did it, and what makes it even dope is that it tells the story of James Brown young and then old, and Chadwick Boseman plays both, and he got it down to a T. Like it's so convincing. Like even when it's old and he's like playing the older James Brown now, it's a really good movie. It is so dope. So that's gonna be my recommendation for this podcast.
My recommendation is gonna be Lovecraft Country.
Okay. I wanted to talk about that. It's just
we'll talk about it next episode. But I think, and I didn't live in that time, but I think that is probably one of the most accurate depictions of what it's like to live as an African American in the United States during the 1950s and the 1960s, giving the fact that you have been given the liberty and the ability to live freely, not as a slave, but still to be treated as shit. I think like the racist scenes, they were uncomfortable for me to watch.
They were very uncomfortable.
You know, my wife is.
It was really weird. They were uncomfortable. They were uncomfortable, but because the storyline was so different, in a sense, it was like, damn, y'all really found the way to be racist even in this story. Like, even
that was the whole point, because it took place in that time. Like, I watched Rocky. Rocky. She's a black woman, and I felt uncomfortable watching it, and it wasn't uncomfortable because I felt guilt watching it. I felt uncomfortable watching it because I knew that is exactly the way that black people were treated, even during and after and before civil rights movements and after the Revolutionary War. Right. Yeah. So it's a hard concept to grasp that after the Revolutionary War that slaves are set free physically, but mentally they absolutely weren't. And it lasted for almost 50 years, 50 to 60 years. Matter of fact, to this day, it lasted. So it was extremely comfortable that just a random altercation with somebody that is white, they were just going to treat you like shit. Yeah. But that is the reality. But what I enjoyed about it is that even though they knew that situation would arise and that was what they had to deal with, it still didn't take away from the fact that they enjoyed life.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody, people shouldn't have to live like that.
Lovecraft Country gives me supernatural feels, Rudy. I don't know if it do for you.
I had a whole hot take. We'll talk about it.
We'll say that.
We'll say that. I had
Supernatural, bro.
Yeah.
We gotta bring that up. We'll talk that next
I get it. I kind of understand, but I'm still gonna say
I'm a big fan of Supernatural. So
I know you are.
That's what I said. When I watched it, I was like, bro.
I know. I know what you're talking about, because I watched the first and second season.
No. You don't get it yet. You don't get it. Trust me.
I get it.
That's not enough.
I do.
That's not enough, bro.
Why y'all oppressing me like this? God damn it.
Let's go.
All right,
Bacardi, go ahead.
Me. All right. Mine is gonna be, of course, Chadwick Boseman, like just being Black Panther in all of the Avenger movies. Like
the Avenger movies he showed up in.
He was in Civil War. He was in his own movie.
He was in Infinity War.
What was the other one?
He was in Infinity War.
Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame.
Yeah. So just giving screen time. If you've never been a fan of Chadwick Boseman, and or you're under a fucking rock, I don't know what the fuck it is, but like we are in an age now where superhero movies are a big thing, and honestly, Chadwick came into the Avengers role that we've been watching Avengers movies for the last 10 years, and he shook all that shit up. Like, from his first appearance of, like, fighting motherfuckers and showing, like, people looked at him, like, if you've been a fan of Captain America and Iron Man, all the motherfuckers, like, following up, when they first met him, they didn't know what the fuck to do with him. Like, Chadwick, they made Black Panther a placement character in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like, fam, it's gonna be trouble fucking with dude. Like, it's gonna be real trouble. He's not affiliated with y'all. He's like, he gonna do his own shit in his own way. Yeah. And y'all can't beat him. Like, that's it. Like, y'all can't beat him. He's doing exactly what he wants to do. Yeah. And I think that's what made that character for him, like, luckily enough that he was able to get that role. Because whoever, like, Ryan Coogler wrote that role for him to be that strong of an individual in the Marvel Universe. Because we battle that all the time. Like, it's like Black Panther is like, I mean, if you compare him to Batman or whatever, like, he is that. He's the richest. He owns a lot. Like, he owns the country.
I want to tell you something. So I know y'all all seen this gift before.
Oh, the
dancing? The kids, they were getting, they
were dancing because they got to go see Black Panther.
Was that before Was that for Black Panther?
They got to go see Black Panther. They were dancing.
They was dancing.
So bro dancing like that was because he went to go see Black Panther.
You seen this gift
bro? That's the most happiest dance in the fucking world.
Yeah, it is.
And that's because all these kids was going to go see Black Panther.
That's the happiest dance in the world.
The kids at Ron Clark Academy turning up because they all about to go get to see Black Panther.
And
that's wild.
To be fair, honestly, that ties into my recommendation.
Yeah.
I want you guys to all go look, and I'll throw it in the Geekset group. Just look at the video. I think it was on the Tonight Show where Chadwick Boseman was able to surprise Black Panther fans as they were all thanking him.
So he was behind the poster.
They were all thanking him. And I just want you to, when you watch that video, to remember that's why representation matters. That's why people fight so hard to see people who look like them on the screen. Because those were almost all adults. And they were thanking him profusely. They were thanking him profusely. Some of those people, they were so emotional thanking because they could see somebody who looks like them and something like that. That's why representation matters. That's why this
and then he reveals himself. Oh, it's an emotional video, bro.
And that's why, for so many people, this news hit so hard. Is because things like that. That's why I just want you to go watch that video. And I mean, whenever you sit back again and you wonder, why do people fight so hard for representation in these damn movies?
And that's all we fight for. That's all we fight for.
So, you know what? I'm not going to do the OG recommendation because I want the OG recommendation or the recommendation to be just watch something with Chadwick Boseman. Because a lot of his movies meant something. And that's one of the things. He didn't do work just to do a lot of his movies, whether it is 42 when he's representing and being Jackie Robinson, whether it is Get On Up and he's James Brown, whether it is Marshall and he's being Thurgood Marshall, whether it is Black Panther and he's T'Challa, like all these movies that he's done.
Like, they was grooming this. Denzel didn't get that kind of work. This nigga only was Malcolm X.
Speaking of which, Denzel, did you see when Denzel's part of the reason why he's a fan of Denzel?
No, not even that. Denzel paid for him to go to acting. Like, there's a whole story.
Denzel paid for him.
Oh, I did hear that.
There's a whole story.
Denzel put him up.
It's just like I said, no matter what you may think, how he impacted the black community or how he impacted just the film community, it ties so much deeper than you probably think. And it's just, I honestly, like I said, I don't do well with death, whether it's to my family, whether it's people who I look up to in other situations.
So, man, as always, man, this is the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, man. You will never be forgotten. You are
sorry.
Loved. Please, man, love and prayers to his family, his friends, and everybody that's affected by it, man. And, we appreciate y'all spending this moment with us. And again, man, like I said, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
And we out.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.